we didn't.
That's fine. And that's it.
Good night to my fellow YouTube subscribers. Just want to, on behalf of the JOSA team, JOSA Online Academy team, just want to welcome you guys to this live stream. If you're presently watching the link, the stream now, we're going to be looking at factorization today based on what was, um, you know, requested by one of the viewers last week. So today we're going to do factorization, right? So I'm just waiting until you share the link. So I'm waiting. I'm watching the numbers to see how many persons on. So just give me 5 minutes and I'll start just in 5 minutes. Don't go anywhere. Don't change the channel, but share the link. All right, good night again. I'm seeing that I'm having two persons watching, and those two persons are myself and another person watching. So tonight we'll be looking at factorization. I'm going through a few past paper questions with you all. Now, let us look at the first question, number one. Good night again. It says factorize completely. Right? So factorize completely. Now, a square minus the product. Let me read this here. The square of a minus the product ab minus the product ac plus the sum of bc. Now, the word factorize derives from the word factor. Good? The word factor. Now, to get a product, you'd multiply two or more factors, whether the same factor or multiply one factor by another factor. Good? But when you're factorizing, it is the action of finding the factors. Let's use a arithmetic methods so you can understand. For example, let's say the number 6. Now the number 6 has several factors. You can say 1 multiplied by 6 will give you 6. So both 1 and itself are factors of 6. 2 multiplied by 3 also give you 6. So therefore, the numbers 2 and 3 are factors of 6. So when we say factorize, the big question is, which of the 4 mathematical operations that you know as addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, etc., would you use to factorize? Now, just by looking at what I just showed you, you could tell. You could tell, couldn't you? Is it addition? I heard you said no. Is it subtraction? I heard you said no, but probably. Is it multiplication? I heard you said no, but is it division? Let's think about it. What do you think it is? Well, if you have an answer, you could put it in the chat so I can see what your response is. But just in case, if you said division, you'll be correct. So factorization is really built on division. You divide to find the factors. All right. Now, as you go along, you learn a few things. So let's go. All right, let's go. All right. So we're going to factorize the first product. Now, please note that everything in this expression is a product. So we're trying to find now the factors of this product. Now, looking at an example like this one, your first step is to identify the common factor. In this case, the letters are factors, A, B, and C. But which one is the most common one? Take a good look. You'd say A. But guess what? There's a step that I deliberately missed. I'm going back to it now. Before you can first identify the highest common factor, you have to group the like terms. You have to group the like terms. Now, you can group A square with AC. You can group A square with AB. Or you can group AB with BC. Or you can group AC with BC. It doesn't matter how you group it, as long as they both have something common, right? And perhaps not. You could experiment if you wish, but let's keep it simple. So I'm going to group it. So I'm going to put A square group with AB. And AB really means A times B. Remember that, right? Then I'm going to group now minus AC, and I'm not talking about a condition now, plus BC. Now, so look at this now. So if you look in the first set of parentheses, you will notice that the letter A is common to both expressions. Do you agree? If you agree, say yes in the chat. Now, so let's factorize. So A is the most common, so I'm going to use A to divide both expressions. A into A squared will leave us with A. A divided by this one will leave us with B. So what you notice? We have A minus B in parentheses. And then I'm going to put A on the outside. Let's do the other parentheses now, which is common. C is common, so we'll divide by C. So C into AC is going to leave us with what? And as a matter of fact, it's best to use negative C, and I'll explain that later on. So negative C into minus AC will leave us with a positive A. And when you divide a negative number by a positive by a negative number, your quotient will be what? Negative. So it'll be negative B in this case. And then, of course, we have minus C that will divide. Now, if you notice, we have two minus A minus B's. So you want to choose one. So one of them will be A minus B. And then the other one now, the highest common factors of both parentheses, you're going to put them together. And that's it. Simple as that. Now, there's a little secret. If I was in your, if I were in your position, I'd pause and then make up a question similar to this, maybe 10 questions similar to this, just using different letters, just to get practice. All right? That's what smart students do. All right, so that's number one. So we're going to go to number two. So let's take a little break, give you a chance to make up your 10 questions. All right, I hope you took that time to make up your 10 questions, right? So now I'm going to go to number 2.
Those are not mine.
So number 2 says
Those are not mine.
6y squared
Right, and so that's all.
plus 13y minus 8. Now, there's a hands-on method that we can use to show you how you could practically solve this problem. But guess what? If you want to see this, we'll accept our invitation to join one of our maths class during our online marathons. And then, of course, you'll be able to, do your thing. Well, let's just factorize 6y squared plus 13y minus 8. Now, there's a trick to this. Some of you might have learned another method, but I'm going to show you something. There's a method we'll call FOIL. Not foil paper, but FOIL. Acronym FOIL. That you can use, some people use it to do the distributive property of multiplication, but you can also use it in factorization. Now, FOIL means the first two. Sorry, the F means the first two. O means the two outer ones. If you spread your hands out like this, your fingertips will be the outer ones, and I would be what? Your body in between the two inside ones, and an L with the two last ones. So let's see how this works. Now, the fact that I have 6y squared, it simply means then that there has to be a y right here. There has to be a y right here for y times y to give me what? Y squared. Now, I could have 2y right here and 3y right here. Because 2y times 3y give me 6y squared. Good. Then now, the two outer ones would have been, what would this 2y multiplied by?
This one, because there's a product part.
Because what you would add these two, the outer ones, the result of the two outer ones, and the result of the what? The inside one. Good. Now, but before we go to that, let's look at the two last ones then. Now, the two last ones will give me the last term. So the question is then now, what is it? What would be multiplied to give me minus 8? Well, it could be minus 2 and positive 4. That's a possibility. And let's see if that is correct. Now, 2y times 3y will give us what? 6y squared. And then the two outer ones will give me what? 8y. But I have to add the two inner ones. So minus 2 will give me minus what? Minus 6y. Then the two last ones will give me positive 8. But guess what? We have a problem here. We have a problem here. Because we cannot have a 2 right here. Because we already have a 2 here. We have to factorize. So that will not work. So we're just troubleshooting, right? We're just troubleshooting. So these two will not work right there. So maybe we could try 1 and 8. Why not? Let's see. All right. So 6y squared again. And of course, 6y squared. And of course, you have the two outer ones. That will be 2 times y. 2y times 8 will give me what? Positive 16y. Then we multiply the two inner ones, give me minus 3y. Two last ones will give me minus 8. Now we'll find the answer now. Because when we add these two, as I told you, outer and inner results, you're going to get what? 13y. So 6y squared plus 13y. And how we got 13y? We subtract 3 from 16 and then minus 8. So you see? Simple 1, 2, 3. We'll take a break. Let's see how that works again. All right, so this is just part 1 of factorization. And our next recording, we're going to do part 2. And I trust you're going to enjoy part 2. We're going to teach you again how to use FOIL to factorize. And not just to distribute, but to factorize. Thank you again for stopping by at JOSA Online Academy.
Please follow the instructions on the phone pad.